Less than a year ago, I was at a pretty low point. I was at the heaviest weight I've ever been. I was stuck in college classes that I really hated. And I was debating if I even wanted to continue running my YouTube channel and the business along with it, which is what I've always loved to do. Flash forward to today though, my business is now doing over 100K a month. I think I look better than I ever have before. And I genuinely go through my days feeling confident and feeling happy because I have a vision and I'm working towards the person I genuinely want to be. So if you've ever felt similar, or if you're at a crossroads, these are the 6 steps I think that anyone can and should take to improve their lives. And as a bonus at the end, I'll be going over something personally that happened to me like 3 months ago that might have doubled or tripled my personal self-development and my progress. Step number 1, and honestly what I think is the easiest way to get an advantage on 99% of young people, especially if you want to be successful and you're young, is limiting, avoiding, or honestly quitting alcohol. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to sit here and give you a lecture on why alcohol is bad. I mean, technically, it's poison, but I actually don't have a problem with that specifically, as crazy as that might sound. What I have a problem with specifically, and where I think the problem comes in for young people, is not with what alcohol is, but more so how people use it. I think a lot of people, and I did this a little bit probably about a year ago, I would use alcohol or go to social situations where alcohol was present, not because I was celebrating anything in specific or because I was genuinely making connections with people or having a good time, but more so because I was bored or because I had problems elsewhere in my life that I didn't really want to solve. And the problem is you don't have many hours in the week free to work towards the person like you want to become, right? Like you're probably stuck in school, you're probably stuck in a 9 to 5. And the truth is, if you really want to do something, the best time you can do it is your free time. I noticed I had a lot of goals and I was using my free time to go to parties or to go to events that weren't really meaningful. And it created this sort of anxiety for me, right? You can't really have fun in the moment because you have like this thing looming over your head. And so when I really cut back on the amount of times that I was going out, I noticed how much more time I have to devote to things that are meaningful, to things I want to do. And overall, just less anxiety I have because I have so much more time to do what I want to do. And the things I'm working on are so much clearer. I just think alcohol is something that's not taken seriously enough by most people. Most people just have fun with it and they don't really realize the way it affects them. Once I thought about the way I was using it and cut back a lot, I've noticed my life just improve in general. And so take that as you will. Okay, step number 2, start working out or exercising regularly. Now, this is one of the things that I've kind of gone up and down and had to learn the hard way, but I genuinely think working out might be one of the most unanimously good things you can do for not just your health, but also your productivity, also your confidence, and really every aspect of your life. And not just because of like the physical benefit. There's a straight up advantage to looking better. And I think other people in the world treat you differently when you look better. But even more so than that, I think the benefits of working out, at least for me, have related a lot to mental health. It's really hard to navigate the world and to act confident and to do things in your life with confidence and to radiate confidence to other people if you're not happy with yourself. And so what I noticed for me is when I actually like took steps to look better on a consistent basis, I can like walk around and feel confident. And that feeling confident helps you approach people, helps people take you more seriously, helps you be more assertive, and I think just overall has benefits that ripple everywhere into your life. The point is, and if you want other people to treat you with respect and to see you as confident and to see you as successful, it all starts with yourself. And I think working out, one of the easiest things you can get into. If you're not and you're young, you absolutely should. Step number 3, change your social circle. This is one that I kind of had to learn the hard way. I think you really realize it once you get out of high school. I don't know about you guys, but there are a lot of people in my life who I've just interacted with and continued to keep up with just because. Not for a reason, but just because we're familiar, we know each other. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to like drop your friends or drop people you talk to. But what I did a couple months back, I think it was like 6 months back, that really like impacted me is I actually sat down and I think I made a list at the time of people in my life that I genuinely care about. I thought about it as more like who in my life would I absolutely want to keep and who isn't adding much to my life on a daily basis? Who am I just talking to just to talk to? There's a lot of people we talk to and we just don't reassess often enough how people affect your life. And the biggest points of progress in my life have been when people either left my life or when people have entered my life. When you actually know like who you care about and you think about who doesn't serve you very much, everything around you just becomes easier. It's just easier to get to the places you want to get to when you're around people who help you get to those places. So there are sort of two parts to this. There is removing people in your life that don't really add, and there is adding new people. And based on where you are, you can probably figure out which one makes more sense for you. If you want to change your life, if you want to transform where you're going, you need to transform who's around you. At least when you do that, it becomes so much harder to stay stuck in place. Number 4, this carries on from number 3, change your social media feed / do a social media detox. I did this about 4 or 5 months ago, and I think if you want to like change your life and change what you're working on, once again, environment is so important. These things are designed to hook you, and they're way better at keeping me hooked than I am at ignoring them or controlling my impulses. And so something I did was go through my Instagram and my YouTube and unfollow and unsubscribe from people who, once again, were not like adding to my life. There were a bunch of people in high school that I was just keeping up with to keep up with. Same thing in college. So I unfollowed 90% of people that I was following. And you might be thinking, what if I miss out? What if I can't follow what they're doing? I can just tell you, I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. In fact, I have been happier in the last, 12 months than I have ever been with my social media usage. Because for me, at least, I was just following so many people that I didn't care about. Random Instagram models, I don't know. Random people that I didn't even know when they got added to my phone, I started following. When you cut that out, you're only keeping up with people that matter, and the actual quality of every interaction you have, even just touching social media, becomes better. I'm not telling you to cut off people in your life that matter, but I think if you genuinely assess what you're consuming on a given day, it will massively change how you act and the things that you're working towards, because you're just no longer like consuming all the BS and all the distractions. Step number 5, stop responding to everyone on your phone. If you thought changing your social media feed or doing a social media detox was crazy, hopefully you didn't. This one is genuinely going to be a sticking point for most people. I don't think most people have the willpower to do this, but if you can do it, it will massively change your life. And the reason I say this is because I've gotten to the point now where I only respond to people in very few batches per day. Maybe I'll respond to my work DMs 2 or 3 times a day. I'll respond to like my social DM, like my personal like text messages twice a day. And cutting back the time that you just randomly pick up your phone and respond to people, you cannot imagine how positively that can affect your life. I used to be at a point where if I was working, I would just randomly pick up my phone, randomly check things. And you get like this sort of like ghost hand, like just grabbing your phone. And all of a sudden you can go from working to responding to a text to now you're on social media. And I think cutting the time you spend on social media and the time you spend on your phone, you would be amazed at the amount of time that comes back into your life. When you start responding to people in 1 or 2 batches a day, I personally started to notice people message me for more important things, right? When you're harder to reach, the quality of messages you get improves. That's one thing. But another thing is, it's just so much more efficient. You'd be amazed at the amount of messages that will just resolve themselves if you don't respond to them. And when you kind of set the precedent of like, oh, if I see a message and it's not important, I'm not going to respond to it, you have so much more freedom. You have so much more time to just focus on doing things that like actually add to your life. I think the biggest things I'm happy about in the last 12 months have been my YouTube growth and my business growth. And those are things like that are really meaningful to me, but they take long amounts of time. They take long, deep work sessions to complete. When I cut out that stuff, all of a sudden doing all the work that needed to be done became so much easier. And so if I could give you one piece of advice, especially for young people, seriously look at the amount of time you spend on phone and limit the amount of input, the amount of time you like check for notifications heavily, because most of that time you'll find never mattered in the first place. Finally, step number 6 to completely change your life, sleep consistently. What I mainly mean when I talk about sleeping consistently is sleeping consistently throughout the week. As in, treat all 7 days of your week like most people treat their Monday through Friday. And the reason this changed my life so significantly is because I realized the most valuable time I had in my week was my Friday, my Saturday, my Sunday. And I was treating this time as if it was like disposable. Like, I mean, like the common narrative is like, oh, it's the weekend, you know, you could sleep in, you can do all these things. I'm not saying don't take care of yourself, but what I am saying is like, if you have goals, right, and you want to work towards things, when are you going to work towards them? It's probably not going to be at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. when you're tired, when you're fatigued, when you've been working your 9 to 5 or going to school all day. You're going to do those things when you have energy and when you have time. And when do you have energy and time? For most people, it's the very limited time that you have Saturday and Sunday. When I started like waking up on a Saturday morning, and as crazy as this sounds, like getting to work, working on the things that matter to me, all of a sudden, I just have this massive advantage on everybody else around me. I'm not saying you have to like work necessarily on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning. I'm saying do things that matter to you on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. Instead of just like sleeping in and mindlessly consuming, work on the hobby or go on the run or reach out to the friend who you've wanted to talk to for a while who has always been good to you. That's what you should do on your Saturday and Sunday. And that's why I sleep consistently, because I know I have important things to do 7 days a week. I don't have a bedtime. I don't have a wake up time, but I treat every day of the week like it's an important day of the week. Those are all the tactics, but none of the tactics or strategies actually happen if you don't have the will to want to do these things. If you don't have a reason to want to become successful or to want to work on your health, whatever it may be. And so something specifically that happened to me like 3 or 4 months ago that kind of acted as my will, and that's doubled or tripled the results I've gotten in these last 3 months, even more so than the amount I've gotten in the past like 12 months, was actually leaving a long-term relationship I was in. I don't think anything was wrong with the relationship per se. It was the way I was using the relationship that was holding me back. And while it's important, like, I'm not telling you to not like prioritize, you know, if you're dating somebody or if you're in like a serious committed relationship, I'm not saying drop that. I'm saying I let that relationship get in the way or become the only thing that I was thinking about or that I was concerned about, instead of the things that were personally gonna make me happy long-term. And when that relationship ended, I realized how much I was using it as a distractor, as something to focus on in time when I really knew deep down that I wanted to work on something, or that I wanted to get something. But I say all of that to say, whatever strategies you pick from this video that stand out to you, remember you actually have to have a reason. So maybe more so than picking the strategy that is best on paper, pick the strategy that you can like actually stick to, that you have a reason, that you have like the strongest motivation to want to improve. And start with just that one thing, focus on it for 30 days. And seriously, if you commit to any one of these things for a consistent amount of time, you will see massive improvements in your life over the long term. And I know that at least in my case, because that's what happened to me. Okay, so those are the 6 things that have had the biggest impact on my life. Let me know down in the comments which ones impact you the most. And if you've been lurking here or you want to get started on picking one of these up, consider subscribing to me and following my stuff. Very few people that watch these videos are actually subscribed, so it would mean a lot if you subscribed or left a comment. Like, I genuinely read all the comments and I get notifications for when people subscribe, so it really helps motivate me to make more of these videos. Or if you can't be asked and you're gonna go on Instagram after watching this, that's okay. At least maybe follow me there. It's Luke Anson RL. I post more stuff like this before it comes out, and I post like almost daily onto my stories over there, so you can actually see what I'm doing on a daily basis to see that this stuff is what I genuinely do. Yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you all. Ooh, that was a long recording. Bye.